Welcome back to the channel, folks, and to another battle report. Glad to see that Brian's back in the room. And this is, well, we recently, a couple of months ago, did our 100th Flames of War battle report. This is our 100th Version 4 battle report.
Yep, I wonder how many of those I've won. Not many.
Well, I'm just thinking as well, will we actually figure out the rules by the 200th battle report?
We might get there in the end.
They keep changing all the time anyway, folks. That's our defence. So today we're going to be back on the Eastern Front mid-war with the release of the new books. And Brian, you're going to be taking Germans today. You're more familiar with Germans than Soviets.
Yeah, definitely. I'm starting to get used to the Germans. No idea about the Soviets. I really don't know what I'm up against. Was always a bad idea as well. You should know your enemy, but let's see what I'm up against today.
Well, these Soviets are tricky. They're green and the tanks are reckless. So it should be quite a mess, if nothing else. But one thing, we're using the Kursk sort of set up here, you know, so that's the Ghost Panzers. And one thing we kind of noticed when we're putting the list together is how expensive German tanks are. And I know that other people have done their own sort of repointing and so on. We're just going to stick with the book as it is, because otherwise it might get confusing. And we're just going to play at 120 points.
Just more on, yeah.
So that gets us a balanced list within certain restrictions anyway. And Soviet tanks are actually not ridiculously cheap at that level, so we're going to have what we think is a good matchup in this game. But there certainly won't be any platoons of Panzer IVs kicking about at 40 points for 3 tanks. That's like someone's idea of mid-war tigers. You can get tigers in mid-war.
Too much, far too much, yeah. Far too much.
So hopefully this is a nice balanced game for you folks, and we'll certainly see. So we're going to look at the list and take it from there.
Enjoy. So just looking over this list then, so this is a mixed panzer company we're playing with today. So the core formation is based around the HQ of 2 late Panzer IIIs, and then 2 units each with 3 late Panzer IIIs and an addition of a Panzer IV to give a bit more bite in that unit. So that's the core formation. And then there's a number of support formations with this as well. So I'll bring along the armoured Panzer Grenadier platoon to bring up to the infantry. We've got some NEBs with an observer to give some templated, or quite large templated artillery. And then we've got 2 units of scouts as well to beef up the army as well, to give us some mobility on the table. So a mixed Panzer company.
So here is 120 points of enemy at the gate, Soviets. So it's based around a Lease formation. The Lease formation itself has got quite a lot of stuff in it, other than just Lease. But we'll start with what you can see in the way of Lease. You've got a HQ in the middle there waving a flag saying follow me, and they're saying what? What, comrade? Confusion no doubt will follow. And then you have a platoon of 5 and a platoon of 4. I would like to have a lot more Lees in the formation, to be honest, but this is all I've got. I've got 10. And part of the formation is also a Stuart, an M3 Stuart platoon of 3. I'm using the late version ones here from my British, because I don't have any of the early ones in my collection yet, but they're a very good proxy. Then still as part of the formation on the road, you'll see 4 76mm anti-tank guns. And then also part of the formation, you'll see an enormous chunk of infantry. They are submachine gunners, 22 bases plus commissar. I'm just not used to using that many infantry in a game. But then again, when these guys save no 4 up, there won't be that many infantry for long. That's certainly what my expectations are. So that is the core formation. And then in support, a platoon of 6 T-34 Earlies. Now, these T-34 Earlies from enemy at the gates are different from the Red Banner one, only in as much as the dash distances are not so good. They're still good. They still, for instance, do cross-country dash of 20, but they don't do 24. And that's all the real difference here. Otherwise, green. The Lees are the same. They're green, and they're also, all of them are reckless, so all the tanks are hitting a 2+, so I'm expecting there to be lots of dead tanks at the end of this game. But anyway, back to the support. There's also a battery of 122mm artillery, and then 3 BA-10 armour cars who didn't seem to get the memo and somehow managed to turn up in their winter camouflage. But there you go, folks. 120 points, so there is a lot, but you could easily whittle this down to 100 points, no bother at all. As I said, I'd like to have a bit more Lees in there, but let's get the Lees on the table. Let's see what tanks with front armour 5 and hit on 2+ with a 5+ skill check can actually do. Today's mission is Encounter. It's a nice straightforward mission in terms of setting up the deployment zones and so on, but it's a mission that can be very challenging because it has got delayed and scattered reserves for both sides. So you've not got complete control over what you're doing. You have to develop a sufficient attack and defence to ensure you win the game but don't lose it at the same time, so it can be a bit of a swirling kind of battle. Now you can see we're putting down the objective markers just now. Brian's going first because he's the attacker. You can see he's got one beside the switching tower on the left and in the field in the middle, and then I've got one on my far right, as you see in the top right hand corner, and then one in the wood in the middle. Now my thoughts are isolating the one that's on the other side of the river, possibly with the bridge, and then the one in the middle, well, there's a possibility of me pushing forward onto that from the middle objective going through the terrain. There's plenty of terrain there, and Brian's main focus is going to be on the one by the switching tower on the bottom left, which has got a good line of sight for him to be bringing in his artillery, ranging them in, as well as bringing his tanks down. Brian has started the deployment by putting his Observer Panzer II down on one of the hills there at the back. It's not got a great line of sight. It's quite hard to get line of sight everywhere here, but the most important thing is he'll be able to see the objective that he wants to then attack. My first unit is going to be my light M3s going on the far right to move on that objective sitting right in the opposite corner. Brian intends to defend that objective using his infantry, so he's keeping them in the half tracks at the moment because that protects them to a degree from artillery. They don't have to re-roll successful saves if I range in on them, for instance, and if they're gone to ground they should be quite hard to hit from direct fire when I do get in range. He's also thinking about keeping them in the half track so he can be aggressive and come at me when they're mounted up. Now I've placed my scouts looking very white, so you can see them quite easily on the table there. I'm thinking from the centre of the table they can move out to potentially influence the centre objective and react to what Brian is doing, and he's put his heavy armour cars behind the terrain that the half tracks are hiding in. That's just a little bit more support to that objective which Brian is thinking is maybe exposed. Now here comes my big lump of infantry. I've decided to put them in the corner objective. The central one doesn't feel quite so exposed, and my reserves, our artillery, our anti-tank guns may well be able to defend that, but the one on the far side, away out there, it's feeling exposed, so I've got a huge lump of infantry to put down. I'm very unused to deploying such enormous amounts of infantry, so I just keep it in command. That's what you have to do in deployment, and think like you're minimising potential artillery, but you're probably not because it's so big. And then Brian is just setting up his tanks, his mixed panzer platoon behind the factory there, ready to move out. I've put my my Lees behind the church on the bottom right there, and then you can see Brian has put his company command taking advantage from cover on the right corner, and then his Nebelwerfers into the wood. I've got my artillery going in around my objective in the middle, and my anti-tank guns are going to be placed in a position so that they can protect the flank of the objective that is by the switching box, but the switching tower over there in the bottom left hand corner, but not be under any artillery templates that will be directed against all those infantry. Okay, now for the first important dice roll of the day. Who is going first? 5 and 6. You're going first. So
That's not good.
it means you're not going to get a bombardment off first turn, but I don't think these guys are going anywhere anyway, so you'll probably get aim anyway. So we'll come back, folks will remove the markers, come back at the end of German turn 1. Turn 1. German turn 1 movement, and Brian wants to get on the offensive. On the right hand side of the table, he's feeling a little bit exposed at that objective with so many tanks staring him down, and he's figuring out about how he can deploy his armoured cars and his company command in an aggressive way. He's thinking, I could just sit there, stay going to ground, but you know, there's a lot of tanks coming at me, maybe I'll go and take some out. And then by the factory over on the left, he's just working out how he can get around the corner and get as many shots downrange at my dug-in infantry, but also in a way that they are going to be out of line of sight of my artillery and my anti-tank guns. So on the left hand side of the table, there's not a lot of risk in what he's doing. He can manage those risks. On the other side, he's got to be careful. He's keeping his scouts, for instance, there in the concealing terrain. No cross checks needed for that, folks. It's just kind of like crop fields. And then getting his HQ as far forward as possible so that they are still concealed, but they're shooting my guys in the open at short range on 2-ups, hoping for some early kills.
So German's shooting for turn 1, so because it's meeting engagement and I'm going first, I can't use a barrage, so I just have to move up some of my tanks to take some shots. So starting off at this side of the table, I'll move to short range to try and get 2 shots in at your tanks come towards me. And I've got a 5 and a 4.
That'll do it. You need a 2 normally, so that'll be a 3 required. So you're going for the platoon of Lease?
Yes, please.
What is a Lease front armour? Hold on a minute, I really should know this, folks. I just haven't actually used Lease. Front is 5, right? So I'll just roll, whoops, as I lie.
Oh dear. And there we go, folks.
4. So your anti-tank is 9. It's a short range, so I'm 5. So a chance to bail 1.
Bail 1. So this is the chance to bail. A 5.
Yep.
1 bailed. There we go.
Okay, one of the guys at the front, I'll try and put it to
Yeah,
at the
in the middle.
back. Right.
Hopefully that's all your 6s disappearing.
Right, and then you've got on the other side.
Other sides I've got 2 Panzer 3s and the Panzer 4, which will be the white dice.
Right, and they're shooting at the infantry down
Shoot
by
the infantry down in
the station.
Yeah. So I've got, that's not.
Right, so normally you need 3s, 4 for range, 5 concealment, 6 going to ground.
It's nothing.
Right. And that was shooting at these guys here. So that's it for you, Brian?
Yes, that's it. That's all the shooting I can do for turn 1.
And this quite often happens in these games as you're building up. Yes. Soviet turn 1, starting step, I've got to get this guy back in. So the company commander is with him, that's him there. A 2-1 ain't going to do it, so that's going to reduce the return fire. Soviet turn 1 movement, well I'm going to keep my Lease stationary because they've got the HQ to shoot at, and beside them I'm going to move my light M3s up the flank, maybe get some side shots and make those Panzer 3s make some choices, take some decisions. And in the centre of the table, my very white armour cars, I'm going to push them up the middle there, see if I can cause a bit of mayhem. They'll follow me with them, but if Brian doesn't react, his central objective and importantly the Nebs are in trouble. Soviet turn 1 shooting, folks. So I'm going to start with a Lease because they're a particular favourite of mine that always under-deliver. Or perhaps I think I'm expecting too much. Now, 3 stayed still, so that'll be 6 main guns and 2 moves, so that's 8 main guns. This is where you look at the German points and think, are they really worth that points when you're up against so many guns? So there's going to be 8 looking for 5s because you're at short range.
Short range, in cover, but not concealed because they're fired.
3. Now I'm at tank 9. So one of them has got 2 saves to make 6, front armour 6.
So 2 saves, I'll just go for this guy here.
Yeah.
6 and 1 and 1 potential.
Another guy 1 save to make.
Oh, I don't know, how's that HQ could be gone?
The guy near the table edge is gone and the guy inside is gone.
I wasn't moving those guys up like that.
I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. Right, and then that'll leave these guys having goes there, but you're careful, concealed, gone to ground, and I'm overworked. Right, and 7, so no hits there. Right, so my artillery now, it's going to try to range in on, might as well try and go for your half tracks. So your half tracks are concealed. I don't know. There we go. Sorry, they've got terrain under it. I'm green, so I need 6s to range in. Right. So first attempt, second attempt, third attempt. No surprises there. So that is going to be it for shooting, folks. Not going to be too much else to summarise there, other than that was more than I expected. Turn 2. German turn 2 movement. So the mixed panzer platoon on the left are going to be moving up to get as close as possible, but also as out of line of sight as possible from the anti-tank guns. So he's using the hill and the railway station. Then the armoured cars, they're going to take a tactical move up onto the bridge. The only one will get a shot this turn. Take a tactical move onto the bridge to have a go at my armoured cars and stop them advancing. Now the, how to put it, the half tracks, Brian was in a bit of a conundrum. Does he take his infantry out, because he's very much on the defensive there now, but then risk my artillery ranging in, and his infantry won't be dug in when they come out, and that's going to be a constant dilemma in his mind over the next couple of turns. How does he keep those infantry safe in or out?
German turn 2 for shooting. I've seen some danger coming from these the scout troops. I've had to move my rads up and managed to get 1 into fire. So I've got 1 shot needing 4s to hit you at long range. 3s, no hits. So this is going well, folks. The important one, 'cause I need to try and get some of this artillery out of the way onto these troops across here. So I'm going to range in on skill rating.
You are veteran. It's just a question of, now, we don't have a massive big template. It's 5 inches, so if you ranged in onto this front point, it'll get everyone apart from here and here. So that whole lump there.
But then I'm ranging in a tall terrain.
Yeah, you could if you wanted to range in.
Just in
Bear in mind how big your template is. I think you're going to find it hard to avoid tall terrain. Your template's 10 inches wide, and to avoid terrain altogether. I don't think there's anywhere you can drop that. It would just have to be off to the side.
Yeah, may as well go right in the middle, plunk it in the middle and see what we can get.
You need a 4.
A 4. So the first dice, needing 4s, 5. So ranged in, top of that building there. So we'll work out who's underneath the template for that.
Right, okay, so
is it 8, 5 by...
what to do is, now was that first time, so you're going to need a 3. So roll your dice and then I'll put a dice down.
And I'll just get a whole handful of dice and we need hopefully loads of these. So the first one is a 5.
Right,
Second one is a 3.
Next one
is a 4.
Next one. No.
2.
Next one
is a 6.
Next one
is a 2.
No. Next one
is a 4.
Right. Next one.
Move that to the side so I can see what's happening here. 2. Nope.
Next one. Yep.
4.
One at the back here.
1.
Then commander.
4.
And then commissar. No. Right.
That's it. Up.
Right. Okay, so I'll
1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm
5,
just going to
6,
roll these saves over here, keep it on camera. So the first guy rolls a 5, next guy rolls a 5, this guy here rolls a 6, this guy here rolls a 6, the commander rolls a 4, and I need a 4.
I've got infantry, guys. That's
Next guy rolls a 4, and last guy rolls a 4. So at the start of the game I said these guys will die so easy because they need a 4-up save, and they've all made
their 4-up saves.
Which is ridiculous. Anyway, for what it's worth, they're pinned. So you've still got your
guns now.
Now you can use your main guns or your MGs. Your short range, so you could do 4 main gun shots, or you could use MGs. They're pinned already, so you don't need the MGs. It's the killing.
It's killing I need to do, so I'm going to go with the main guns to
Right.
see if I can get them.
So 3 Panzer 3 separately from the Panzer 4 because of the different firepower.
So the Panzer 4 is the white one.
Okay. You need 5. So,
So,
1 hit. Who do you want it on?
Can you target the commissar? Because if he goes, does that mean your guys are in trouble then?
No, it would be a loss to me in terms of motivation, but he's behind.
Right. Let's just go for an objective since he's standing there.
Okay, then let me see. I'm going to try and see if I can mistake and target off. I do. I'm going to put it on this guy on the outside, and I roll a 1. So firepower to kill. That'll be a 4-up for no.
Right. Good dice rolling here, guys.
Right. Okay. So is that it for shooting now?
That's it for shooting.
So basically, this turn it left
Pinned.
those guys pinned. They all miraculously managed to make the 4-up saves. The good thing is next turn they'll be re-rolling the saves, and a 4-up it's going to be really difficult. So it's just really a question of what happens over here. And you've left your guys in the half tracks just now, gone to ground to protect them from my artillery and machine gun fire, because I've got them who could get into machine gun range quite quickly. So you need reserves.
Yeah, I need my reserves on. This could be a very quick game.
Soviet turn 2, I've got 1 motivation to do. He rolls a 3, which ain't going to do it. Company commander's with him, rolls a 1. So, not getting back in. Oh, and then, these guys over here, they rally. Soviet turn 2 movement, so I'm going to put my light tanks up into the terrain immediately in front of the objective on the right there. I'm going to move my Lees up to support them, but I'm going to keep them within the concealing terrain because reserves could arrive at any minute. We're going to be rolling from next turn, and that will help them a little bit so they won't be hit on the 2s. And the armour cars, I'm going to keep them moving up in the middle. I won't be able to get all of them firing. These guys have got a very, very slow tactical move. It's only 8 inches, but get them up to start taking on those 8 rads. Soviet turn 2. Now I forgot to hit record, folks. Sorry about that. So we'll just go for a summary. They actually managed to range in and they killed a half track. Only a 1 or a 2 would result in a kill, so obviously Brian rolls a 2. And then only a 1 or a 2 will kill the passenger, so obviously Brian rolls a 2. So that was the command half track, so only 1 base away. And then the M3s needed 7s to hit. They're at short range, concealed, got on the ground, careful guys, and slow firing, didn't get any hits. These guys with the main guns were the same. They don't have the slow firing, but they were at long range, so 7s again and they got a hit. So it's 2 dead half tracks, but the passengers at least managed to make a save. And then my armoured cars missed the 8 rads on the bridge. So it's all important now is next turn for reserve. Do you want to roll your
I'll just roll
reserve?
Let's see if this
We'll do the
works.
motivations afterwards, folks, but reserves.
This is so important I get this. Yes.
Right,
That's the
okay.
one.
We'll come back to that then, folks. Turn 3.
So, German turn 3 starting step. So I know I'm going to have a unit coming on, but I need to do some motivation here first because they've got artillery. So I'm going to try and unpin and with a 2. So obviously
No.
they don't. So they're pinned down. So I need to mark those up as pinned.
Right, so what do you want to bring on for reserves then?
I'm going to bring on the tanks.
Right.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So come on, this is the time I want a score, a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
And I get the 6. Oh, my dice roll about to
Right.
fin.
Okay, so you're going to have to think. how we're going to get them over, but we'll come back to that, folks. German turn 3 movements, so Brian's first concern is getting those reserves over, so he's going to be using a dash and a failed follow me just to try and get them across, and shooting at my Lease as quick as possible, or possibly even shooting at the little platoon of light tanks. His armour cars have moved in to get both of them in line of sight of my armour cars for a bit of a shootout, and his tanks are going to stay put just now on the left because they're in range, good range to put down some high explosive shots, full rate of fire into my infantry to support the Nebs, which is hoping for a better result from this turn.
Right, it's the German turn 3 shooting. I'm really opening up with the 8 rads on your little unit here, so they've got 2 short seats even though they've moved, so 4 dice hitting you on 3s,
4s for concealment. Yeah.
So I've got 3 hits.
Right, you can only see 2, so
Two
which one you want to double up on?
I think I'll double up on this guy here.
Right, so his front armour 1, your anti-tank is 5. He rolls a 6 and a 2, so 1 chance to kill. 4's a bail, and the other guy rolls a 2, so a chance to kill him. 5, so he's dead.
So 1 dead, 1 bailed.
I'll get one of my smoke markers in a minute.
Oh, but what do I mean now?
No, that's alright, you need them for your own.
Oh!
Famous last words. Okay, so your artillery, you're ranged in already, so you want your roll to hit, so start off with this guy.
2.
No, next guy.
5.
Yep, next guy.
2.
No, next guy.
6.
Yep.
4.
Commander.
4.
Yep, commissar.
5.
Yep. Next guy here. 3. Yep. Next guy.
1. No.
No, not. Next guy.
6.
Next guy.
3.
3. Right, okay, so I'll have to reroll successful. So the first guy needs 4s, gets a 4 and 5. Next guy, well, you chance to kill him. So 5 power, it'll be a 4 up.
No. 2s.
Commander inside, chance to kill him. He's gone. Right, so I'm going to have to... Well, I've replaced him with... Oh, it's the guy upstairs actually. Roll to hit him.
4, yep.
Yep, and roll for last turn as well, because I never did last turn. 6.
6.
So I'll do 1 save for last turn, he was okay. This turn, he's okay. So what I'm going to do is put the commander upstairs, right?
There's not many guys dying.
Commissar. Chance to kill him. Now you want to get him because then, yep,
5.
that means I'm no longer fearless. This guy here, chance to kill him. He's a goner. This guy here, this is more what I expect for the guys. He is a goner, and you've stopped rolling 2s, which is good for you. This guy behind, chance to get him.
3.
No. And then this guy here, chance to get him. No. But you got 4 bases in 1 turn there. That's kind of how they go. Right, you're at your
Big
tanks
guns
now.
in. So let's go.
Stay put and shoot.
So the whites will be for the Panzer 4.
Right.
And I've got 6 greys for the Panzer 3s. So they're all hitting you
5s.
on 5s.
The main guns.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, so who do you want to target? Got to be somebody within 16s. So it's
Just go for the front row, I think.
front row. Okay.
Yeah.
How many was it again? Sorry,
4. One of them's with a Panzer. They're all the same firepower.
So Panzer 4. Well, they're probably to go like maybe Panzer 4.
And then this
there,
one and that one.
That one. Okay, so I'm going to try mistaken target. And the Panzer 4 to get to him. So against the Panzer 4, I roll a 5. This guy here rolls a 2, so chance to get him on a 4 up. He's a corner. Then this one saved, and this one saved. So they're actually doing not too bad with their 4 up saves. Right, so that looks like it.
Yep, I think that's all I can do.
So as far as shooting goes that turn, it wasn't too bad. They lost about 6 bases there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6 bases, but the commissar, which is really important. And armour cars have been smacked about. in the centre of the table, but they never dug in. So it's getting tricky over there. You need to get your reserves over. I've got a 32-inch range, remember? So you can start picking those guys off.
These guys there, yeah.
They've got a 28, sorry, he's got a 32, and they're quite easy to hit, so
yeah.
You've got them on the table, that's the most important thing.
And we decided we've got to use the bridge to cross the river, hence I'm having to snake this way.
Rather than go behind.
And go straight up this way.
Soviet starting steps, so I'm going to start with trying to get him back in. He's by himself, but he's feeling lonely, obviously, so he's got back in. I've got a little armour car. 3 ain't going to do it, so it's going to be a last stand. A 4 does it for them. And then I've got to try and unpin these guys. They're not really going anywhere, but I've got to unpin. They don't, because the commissar has been snuffed. Right, so that's it, folks. Reserves, 1 dice. 6.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to bring in my T-34s. Reserves, folks, it'll be a 1, 2 for this corner, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 T-34s. I got a 6. Which is the exact same situation. It means that
the objective is gone.
Well, it's in more danger, but also I've not got anything over here. And if I do want to come over here, I've got a long, long way to go. Oh no, actually 16 inches might actually get me over the river. But it's a question of, do I attack or defend? Soviet turn 3, so I've got reserves coming in. My tanks that are currently on the table, they're just going to stay put and shoot up some half-tracks, see if I can get lucky. I'll need some really good shooting to get hits, but I've got quite a few dice. So the armour cars in the middle, one is moving to get line of sight, nothing else happening there. And then I'm just figuring out where my reserves are coming on. Sorry it's a bit out of sight, folks, but I've brought them on within 16 inches off the corner, which gets me over the river, thankfully. And I'm going to dash them along that bottom edge to support the other objective, which is under stress, hoping that my Lease will come on to support my attack. Soviet turn 3 shooting. So I'm going to start with my artillery. So underneath the template is 2 infantry bases, so I will need 4s to hit you, because you're careful. So 1's hit, so 1 save for an infantry base. Now you need to reroll successfuls here, because this is my second.
Yeah, no range then.
So 3 ups. You're fine. Right, and then near half track, far half track, they've both been hit. So save for the front one. Yep. And no. Firepower. Oh.
So it's popped.
He's gone. So 2 passenger saves. 1's away. So the 1 base of infantry getting out. Dear me. My Stuarts, or rather my M3s, just check their machine guns. So the M3s are going to just use machine guns against the infantry. Just double check the range, but I think they're in range 16 inches.
Sorry, these guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So you'll be concealed one way or another. Gone to ground, let me think. Oh my goodness, the guy that gets out. Does that change things? I don't know. It didn't move last turn, so no. So there's 1, 2. 2 saves.
2 saves to make. And then just put them on these 2 here.
Well, let me think. I'm quite happy for them to go on those 2, yeah.
So I'm going to go the guy here.
It's fine.
And the guy here.
He's away.
He's away. So it's looking decidedly shady.
So my Lease now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 that moved. Now 24 inches is their range. Just double check. Who can they get? Maybe not. It's maybe just 1 half track.
1 half track, yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, that half track's going to get clobbered.
Everything.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I need 7 so. Oh, for goodness sake. 2 possibles. 1 hit. So that'll be straight to firepower, so I get a 3, so that's away. So 2 more saves.
2 more saves to make. And this could be the shortest game ever, folks.
And they both die.
Both die.
That's just ridiculous, because that's you now.
And last to take a stand.
Last stand, and that's... Well, they're not gone yet. That just leaves... I've got one armoured car. See if I can just move this camera. Shooting at your armoured cars. It gets a 4, which is not going to be a hit. So that's it for shooting. So that was ridiculously effective shooting against your infantry again. I've got quite a lot of stuff over there, so you really need to get your reserves round, and I'm bringing my T-34s over to try and protect that objective in the hope that my platoon of 4 Lees are not on the table can come on and go for that side. So Brian, it's all over to you this turn with some really important dice rolls. Turn 4.
So German turn 4 starting steps. I've got an unpin to do first of all. See if they unpin. Right, so they won't. So 4, and then I've got to see if last stand 6. So they do hang about, but let's see for how much longer.
And that's it for motivation. So just 2 dice for reserves.
2 dice for reserves. We've got reserves on. Yes.
And your last, is this your last reserve? Eh?
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right.
Oh, for goodness sake.
We're always coming on the wrong table edge. Right, okay then.
German turn 4 movement, and things are starting to get a bit critical over on the right there. So the Panzer IVs successfully blitz and then move up so that they've got shots on my light tanks. They're the ones that are most immediately threatening the objective. The final reserves you can see are moving up in the centre of the table too. In the centre, the heavy armour cars are manoeuvring against mine. They're having a bit of a battle there, folks. We'll see how long it'll last for. Then over on the left, Brian needs to close in and get some pressure onto my objective. So he's coming in from behind the hill to get protection from my reserves that are arriving and the anti-tank guns. So we'll be ready to do some shooting and assaulting from there.
I'm in turn 4 shooting, so I've just manoeuvred the Panzers to try and get shots at your tanks at the front here. So the Panzer IV's in short range, so he's got...
So you have 1 shot now. I'm a 2, but concealed, so you need a 3 for him and 4s for...
So the white one is 3s and the grey's a 4.
Right. I'll do it.
4 hits.
The worm is turned. Who do you want 2 on? In terms of saving throws, the Panzer IV will go straight to firepower. The other ones at long range, I'll go up to front armour 4 against 9. So the one on the far side taking 2 hits. That's one very cocked there. That's all ones anyway. Right, so he's failed. The one in the middle is 75, is it?
Yes.
And then the one nearest the tank rolls a 5, so that's a potential bail. So 2 chances to kill on a 4 up. He's very dead. 1 chance to kill on a 3 up.
No.
Bailed, and then 1 chance to bail on a 4 up.
Yes.
Bailed.
So 2 bailed, 1 dead.
So that's stopping the nearest guys to the objective. Right. Okay, so
got some shooting to do in the middle here now.
Right, okay, so this is the armour car.
So I've got 2 shots each because I've moved.
Right.
Hitting you on 3's normal.
4's for concealment.
4's for concealment.
Yeah. So 4 dice altogether. 1 each.
1 each.
Right, and front armour 1 against your 5. So the bailed guy rolls a 5. And the live guy rolls a 5.
Swords low. Swords low.
Now, you're going, because you want to put that assault in, I'll just move this again. You're going to rearrange in your artillery. So,
yes.
What do you want to go for?
I'm going to just bring it across, maybe into here, so you can get your guns as well as your...
Right, okay, so if you put it kind of like on this hedge here,
I'll get some of your guns and the artillery.
it depends, you either want more guns or more infantry. So no, I think you'd be okay. Yeah, you'd be
Just
okay.
in the corner there, then.
Right, so 4 up. 6 will do it. Right, should really put a marker down for this.
Yeah. We need to count how many bases that covers in because of this wider template.
Everybody here apart from him and out to that gun. So we'll start with the guns. See if you hit this one. Looking for a 3.
Yep.
Next one.
No.
Nope. Next one. Yep. First guy.
Yep.
Next guy.
Yep.
Next guy.
Nope.
Next guy.
Yep.
Next guy. Next guy.
Nope.
Next guy.
Oh, here they come again.
Last guy.
Yes.
Right, so this will just be single saves. Right, these are 4 ups, the guns, right? He's okay, but they're pinned. Second gun, chance to kill this one. Oh no, sorry.
Just one dice, isn't
One
it?
dice, I'm getting confused. He's okay, so
Okay.
the guns are okay. This infantryman here, chance to kill him. He's a goner. This infantryman up front, he's okay. The next one up front, chance to kill him. He's a goner. And then the one here, chance to kill him. He's a goner. So it's 3 infantry this turn. Right, and then you've got your Panzer 4 and Panzer 3. You want to put an assault in here, so if you shoot, it might work out that he dies. There's no advantage to, I'm pinned already.
Let's go roll in and go for it because, like you say, he could disappear because if he dies, then I can't assault. So
And you want to try and move your assault in
yeah.
this turn.
So
So I think we're going to go over to that assault then.
yeah.
Camera over, folks. So,
So I think we get one in here, and we said we can get the one in here.
Yeah. This one is close, within 4 inches of him, he's within 4 inches of him. So, Panzer 4, you'll be a 3 up. No. Panzer 3, the same.
3.
Sorry. Right on the screen. Right, so he dies. I've got to motivate to counter attack.
And your commissar's going.
A 3 ain't going to do it, so I've got to break off. Can it be within 6 inches of you? And I've got to move directly away, so let's just do the break off. So it's like that. Now the good thing is you can't make him run out of the house.
Yeah, so we found this rule out now, yeah?
In lessons from the front. So he's going to have to go there.
I'm hoping that's them running underneath the template slightly. Maybe not just.
Not quite. The template's very busy anyway. Right, so they're all out, so that'll be that then. So
No.
that's you started to push in on that objective, that's the important
Now,
thing.
can I consolidate because I'm just
Yeah.
worried now about this? Can I consolidate backwards to give me cover?
Consolidate any direction, even if you're pinned you can consolidate in any
Because I'm just
direction.
worried about this guns now, so I maybe need to come back under the cover
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to just shoot me
So there you're out of line of sight, off the guns.
and still got some shots to come in when we're ready.
Right, so that turn then, you've got your Panzer IVs over here now contesting, well protecting that objective. And I've hammered that platoon. We'll have to see what happens to them if they get back in or such likes. And then over here you're putting a bit of pressure on that objective, so feeling a bit better?
Oh, but I'm still annoyed I killed my HQ in turn 1. I can't get over that. I'll never get over that. I don't know what I was thinking.
It required some pretty good dice rolling on my part, but it was a risk. Soviet starting step, loads of motivations to do, folks, absolutely loads of motivations. We'll start with the M3 light tanks over there. I've got 2 remounts to do, so the middle guy gets a 5, guy beside him gets a 1, so that's going to be a last stand. 5 does it, so there's 1 tank in the middle alive and 1 bailed. Right, and then got a remount to do for that armoured car. 2 ain't going to do it, last stand, 4 does it. I'll double check, but I'm sure it does it. These guys need to unpin. 2 ain't going to do it. The infantry, do they unpin? 4 does it. Right, there's not too much they can do there. I think the only thing I'm going to do is run another guy into that house.
Yeah.
And then I'll have 2 dice for reserves. I get 1. So it's going to be my M3 Lee platoon. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're over there. That's kind of where I was hoping they would go, to be honest. To help these.
You don't have enough tanks over there, Frank.
That's the thing, folks. We're just laughing at how many tanks the Germans get and how many the Russians get. They're hitting a 2, but so what? If you don't kill them, they've got all those shots, anti-tank 9. You know, it's a tough one, we think, for the Germans, but we'll see. It's a long way to go yet. Soviet turn 4 movement. I'm starting with my infantry. Because they're unpinned, I'm moving one into the house, so there's 2 in that little house now, that little switching box. I thought about pulling the other ones back away from the Panzer 3s and 4, but I thought, no, I'm going to leave them there. They have to form a line so I can bring my T-34s up rather than pull away from the objective and not worry about losing them in the assault. And then my reserves are coming on in the best possible place for me, folks, and I can't really complain about that at all. So they're moving up 16 inches from the corner, getting into a tactical move into firing position straight away. And that single light tank has done a 10-inch tactical, so it can still assault, followed by a follow me because it was just outside of 4, so it's in a position now to launch an assault against one of those surviving infantry bases. Soviet turn 4 shooting, so there's actually a lot of things to shoot with. I'm going to start with my artillery. I'm going to lift the artillery from the infantry. Right, this is maybe daft, but that little M3 light tank is going to go in for an assault. These are going to try and range in the 122s. Whoops, sorry, can't get them quite. The 122s are going to go in and try and range in on the end of the bridge there. So I need a 6. Oh, second attempt. So it'll be on the end, so it'll be 2 chances. I need a 5. On the Panzer 4, I get a 6. The Panzer 3, I get a 5.
Right, so Panzer.
So you'll be top armour 2 against anti-tank 3.
So white's the Panzer 4.
Right.
Grey.
Right. Chance to kill the Panzer 4. The only result that could have put him in that danger. I roll a 1, so you're okay, you bailed. Right, the Lees that are stationary. One of them, I reckon, has only got a shot in the Panzer 4. So that's the guy at the end. Of course he hits. And then this 37mm, it doesn't hit. So long range, your front armour go to 7 against 9.
7, 8, 9, 10.
You're fine. The rest of this platoon are going for all of them though. I should have done that separate. 2, 4, 6, 8. 6, 8. Got to make sure we apply these evenly. That'll be quite easy in the circumstances. 1 hit. I want to go for the Panzer 3 on the bridge. You can try and put it off.
Yeah, one at the back.
So 3 up to shift it. You're fine. So your front armour will go up to 7 against 9. You can see the advantages of the Germans against these guys now. 4. Right. My wee pea shooter gun, sorry. They miss. That's the secondaries. Right, the HQ, 2 shots. Way, and his pea shooter. Right, all missed. So the other guys, now I reckon you've got, whatever way I'm shooting you here, I've either got no range or, can see on my lips, yeah. So they're only range of the bridge. So you're going to be concealed one way or another. So there's going to be 4 main guns looking for 6s. No. And then 3 little pea shooters with 37mm who can't actually hurt you at that range. Because your front armour, if you're at long range, your front armour goes to 7.
So
my anti-tank's only 7, so they can't hurt you. So there you go, maybe a wee bit of a turnaround on the anti-tank front. So that leaves, in terms of shooting, little armoured cars. I've still got a brave little armoured car in action there, so let's see if he can get some payback for his buddies. 2 shots, concealed. Oh, that's a 6 and something else. A 6 and 2. Right, anti-tank 7. Can only see him. Front armour 3.
7, 6, 6.
So there's a chance to kill. A 1 doesn't do it. So that guy there will be bailed.
Bailed out, right?
Yeah. Right, okay. So that leaves us.
It's an auto assault, which could be quite crucial here.
Right, okay, so do me a favour, move the M3 into...
You're moving him now.
Yep.
The assault.
Now, I'm green, so I'm going to need a 5 to hit you, because there'll be no counter fire.
Oh, of course you get a 5.
Right, so your survivor is too far away, so he's dead. Your survivor is...
Too far away to come in.
Yep. Because it's not within 4 inches, go double check, just measure it, but it looks as though it's too far away.
From me?
Yep.
From the front, it's about 4.5.
Yeah. And I'm not contacting the wreck, I wasn't against that, so the wreck doesn't go in. You're out with 4 inches anyway, so that will end the assault and you just have to back off. So you're not within 6.
So I see there was 4.5, so that's 6. Do there.
And then what I do is consolidate me just up behind the wreck there, yep, pointing. Yep.
Putting you back towards me.
Yeah, that'll do. Well, back yet. I mean, I don't think it makes a hell of a difference there, to be honest. Like. So there you go, folks. So in terms of shooting this turn, the artillery did well again, getting a bail. Or rather, Brian did badly against artillery, getting a bail.
So I've basically got to come in and get this objective for game over.
Yeah, that infantry's in a spot of bother. But we've seen there how, like, difference in points, all the shooting against them at range didn't really do anything. Even though they got hits, the Germans still managed to save. But, you know, like, there's a lot of tanks there for the Germans to kill. They've only got 4 up firepower for most of the guns. And as Brian says, he's got to keep moving forward. And then on the other side, hold on a minute, I've got these guys coming over now to offer some protection from this flank attack. Turn 5.
This is German turn 5 starting step, so it's going to do some motivation. So I'm going to try and unpin first of all, which they do.
Just do the last stand on them now.
And last stand 4.
He's still there, right? And then a remount.
Get this guy back in again. 5.
Does it? Oh, aye.
And remount there, yeah, that one. And it's cocked. 3.
3.
It's not going to do it, I don't think.
I don't think so. Do your last stand for them. 5 is going to be fine. They've got a weaker motivation, I think. We'll double check it, but the last stand is very,
fine, yeah. Very
German. So, German turn 5. Brian's got to consider what he's going to do about that objective. His surviving infantryman is within 4 inches off it, so he's got something on it, but if it gets destroyed, then he's in trouble, so he has to move over. So he's thinking about where is he going to move and where is his tanks going to go, and he's thinking about protection from a smoke barrage. In the centre, his armour cars are going to move up to help deal with my pesky, annoying armour cars that don't seem to want to go away. So you can see he's moving everything up to try and get as many within the 4 inches off the objective as possible, and maybe get some shots at any pesky annoying light tanks that happen to be hanging around that objective. And then on the offensive side of the table for him, he's moving up so he can get some shots at my T-34s and then keep the assault going in against my infantry.
So German turn 5 shooting, so I've moved a lot up to try and get some shots in to try and get rid of this danger across here, and moved the rad up as well. So first thing I want to do though is put some smoke down, try and cover myself with smoke with these guys here.
So you need 3 dice looking for 3s.
So the first one,
one at a time, there you go.
Yeah. So I've got a 12 inch, so if I just stick it in the middle, I can cover myself.
Yeah. What you do is you put it at one end of wherever it is you want to range in, and it goes in a line from it. But you get that anyway.
Yeah.
You get that anyway. So that is going to cover your tanks, there's no way I'm getting within 6 inches off them this turn, which means you can now bully my poor little...
Concentrate on this guy across here.
Oh, though, I should point out, in time for heroics, he might remount and charge around and kill you. Probably not. Right, so, you want to shoot?
Let's try this first then, eh? So let's go for the Panzer 3 is the white dice and the Panzer 4 is the white dice, the Panzer 3 is the...
So you normally 2s, 3s for concealment. I'll do it. So it's going to go straight to firepower for the Panzer 4, just roll that. No, it's a bail. Right.
And the other one's a 3.
No, that you don't know what you're doing with the other one yet. You're at attack 9 against my front armour 6. Yes. I roll a 3, so roll firepower to kill him. He's a goner.
You sure? Because I rolled a 3 first time.
That's fine, you were just chucking dice for him. So he's away, right? Just take the turret off him and I'll put a marker on it in a minute. Okay, so your other shooting, you're going to use these armour cars here to finish off this guy. So I've got concealment at least. I'm not careful, I am aggressive. So you're looking for 4, so that guy...
2 shots.
Rate of fire actually. It might just be 1 for him.
Leave him staying still.
Yeah, he's at a penalty when he moves, that's
the
issue, that's why you want to keep him still. He's got... Oops, a daisy... 27. Yeah, rate of fire 1, anti-tank 7 though. Right, so he's needing a 4, and he gets a 1.
Another 2 will be needing 5s because I take a penalty.
Now the other 2 got a rate of fire of 2. They don't have a penalty because they've got just the 21 cannons. So 4 dice looking for 4s.
Not 3s.
No, because it's concealment from a wreck.
Right.
So 2 hits. So I've got side armour of 1. In fact, that's gone blue. The front's the same. I roll 2 and a 3, so that's 2 chances to kill.
Right, come on. Do something.
Double bail, so 4, so he's bailed. He's passed. Double bail. Right, okay. Right. So I think we're now down to the other side of the table.
I think we are. So let's move these guys up to try to do some damage. So I want to have 2 shots at your big gun coming in.
Right, 2 shots at T-34. There's also other targets, so roll them separate. So the Panzer 3 first of all looking for a 3. Oh no, looking for a 2. So that's a hit. And the Panzer 4 looking for a 2. That's a hit. Because see, the Panzer 4 can be going over here.
And taking some extra ones as well, you can,
But he can only see him. So that means, like that. Yeah. So that'll be 6. Front armour 6 against anti-tank 9. So he's okay. And then this guy, what's the range?
That'll be long range, I would have thought.
Yeah, it is. So front armour 7 against anti-tank 11. No, so chance to kill him.
3
is a corner. And then you've got 2 other tanks who can have a go at them.
Yeah, now again, because you're dug in, I might as well just use the big guns to go for it.
No.
No.
Because I'm going to ground. So, that's it for shooting.
For shooting, yeah.
So you do have options for assaults now. You've got to, those 2 have to assault somebody within 8 of him. So it's going to have to be here. So that will be cross checks. Those ones can go in here though. So cross checks.
So Panzer 4.
Nope.
No, another one.
Yes. So you'll go over. Oh, hold on a minute though. Am I within 8? Because if I'm within 8, I'll get counter fire. I'm within 8. Do you want to do that?
Because you're going to counter fire with your main gun.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm fine that.
2 shots looking for 4s. Sight. It'll be straight. No. You need a 6 for a bail.
It may as well worth it. Go for it, yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Right, okay. In he goes. 2 dice.
Here we go. Here we go.
1 hit. So a 6 is just to get you bailed out. No, so 5 power to kill. He's a goner. So that.
Shouldn't have gone for that.
I don't think you should have, to be honest. The other ones though, they can still be launching their assault.
I misheard you. I thought it was 6 to kill me.
Right, okay, so you're not going to do it, that's fine.
No, that's fine.
No, if you misheard me, that's fine. What we're going to do is... Right, so, for assaulting then, here, you're not going to go in here because he'll be able to counter fire, but you're going to go in here.
So just ram the 2 of them up?
Yep.
One on one and one at the back?
Do a quick double check. Actually...
Is he going to be...
No, he's right. the issue here is he's got to assault him because he's the only team within 8 inches of him because he fired at him.
Right, so no point in assaulting them.
So those two could only assault here, right? So if they're going to do that, because he's within 8 inches, it'd be counter fire, so Brian's not going to do it. But these two can go in whoop, and clobber that poor guy. So on you go, 2 hits, looking for 3s. That'll do it. So I've got to motivate to counter attack.
And hopefully the Russians don't.
Get a 4. But you know what, it's not like I can do a lot of damage to you. But I'm going to try it anyway. Those two are going to go in.
Yep.
He's going to stay put. So first guy needs a 5. No hits, so you have to motivate to stay in the fight.
2
and they don't,
so they're going to have to come
break
back.
off. So you move so that you're not within 6 inches of me.
So that's quite far back. That'll be the other side of this dice. And is it just these two, or the other's got to break off as well?
It's the platoon.
So the platoon's got to come back as well.
Yep, so 6 inches of these guys.
So it's everything in that line basically.
But only 6 inches, so don't move more than 6 inches
That's 6 inches.
from them. So like that.
It's going in the line.
And like that. Right, because next turn that could have a opportunity for me. If you see what I
got
mean.
all these side armors coming in now with your guns.
Well, I'm actually, to be honest, not past your side. But you know, like you had to keep pressure on that side before all these came over. So as far as that turn goes, then that didn't go well, but it wasn't a disaster. You killed a T-34, killed a base of infantry, and then you've managed to, you've not quite killed my
Hopefully they
armour
don't
cars.
get in and that's them finished with.
And then over here, the most important thing is you've secured that objective. And whilst I might be able to wangle some kind of shots at you, it's not going to be much. Which means you can then about face and deal with my Lees. Soviet starting step. So these guys are pinned down. See if they unpin. They don't. Remounts. He gets in. He doesn't. Last stand. They stay. And then there's a remount on an M3 light tank over there. He gets in, but he's got to last stand. He does. Oh, and one more. These guns, this could be important. They don't. So they don't rally. Soviet turn 5 movement. So I've got a big smoke screen in front of me. It is just beyond me being able to shoot through it unless I blitz. So I'm thinking to myself, I might as well try a blitz because I'm not firing anyway. So starting with the platoon on the far right, I'm just going to move them up into cover so that they're a backup option, and then I'm going to roll for a blitz for the bigger platoon, which has got the company commander with them, but he will have to roll separately, and believe it or not, I actually managed to get a 5 up. So they're able to blitz up within 6 inches of the Panzer 3s and Panzer 4s, which is most unfortunate for Brian and very fortunate for me. Then on the other side of the table, where I'm more defensive, I move my T-34s out onto the flanks of the mixed Panzer platoon there to get some flank shots. So I am looking quite good there because there's no smoke to fire through, but I am slow firing, which means I'll be hitting on 5s. Okay, shooting for Soviet turn 5. The green guys managed to roll a blitz, so they'll be able to get up close enough to see through the smoke, to see 6 inches through the smoke. I think 4 of them are in range from this platoon. So before to hit you normally, I'll need 5s for my main guns because of the smoke. I can only hit what's within 6. Oh, for goodness sake.
And that'll be 3 5s then.
Right, so who's within 6 inches? Let's see.
Them all.
Right, okay. So I want to target. Oh, I forgot to move my wee crazy guy. Can I move my wee crazy guy?
Yep, move them up.
He's gone up to here. Right. So 3 hits now it's too close for mistaken target, so it's going to go Panzer 4, Panzer 3 and then Panzer 3. But here's the thing, I've still got my wee guns. They all miss. Right, so that keeps it simple. So it's going to go, right, the Panzer 3 needs a 6 to match. Panzer 4, sorry, needs a 6 to match. Oh, 6. Right, so I'll do the firepower on that. He's bailed. Right, the Panzer 3 will be the same. No, I'll do the firepower on that. He's gone. And then one Panzer 3 takes a hit in the front and he saves. Okay, next bit of shooting is going to be this armour car that just won't die against the bailed out armour car. Because it's in the open there. Looking for... Oh, in fact, I can't see you. Because it's from the mounting point of the weapon. So I'm going to have to go for the guy in cover. So I'll be looking for 6s because you're concealed. Oh, believe it or not.
You're going to get it.
Now, that's going to be your side, which is 1, goes up to 2 against 7. Gets a 1, gets a 4, which is enough, because it's a 47mm. Right, and then over here, I'm going to start with my T-34s. That one can't fire. These two, I've got flank shots.
You want to move there?
So I'll be looking for the slow firing, so I'm looking for 5s. So these two, no. And then 2 against your front. And you're concealed as well here, so looking for 6s. 1. So I'm going to try and get your Panzer 4, you can try mistaken target.
6 it does.
So who do you want to put it on to?
Does the guy at the back make it long range?
No, not from these.
Not from these.
You probably
still
still, yeah, because then if he's still alive.
Yeah.
Right, so 6 against 9, that'll do it.
10.
So that leaves these guys. 3 shots. I'm looking for, there's concealment for 2 of them. 5s and 6s. 1 shot on a 5 and then 2 on 6s. No, so you've survived that. It looked grim, but you've survived it. So that leaves me to think about over here. Right. I was thinking I could assault that surviving infantry base with my M3, but I moved 12 inches. I had to move that far to get in, so I can't. So my only option would be to shoot at you and hope to kill you, or try and kill another Panzer 3 by shooting you in the flank. So I think I'm going to try and kill a Panzer 3 by shooting you in the flank. So it's only going to be 1 shot, and because you're concealed by the wreck in front of you, you'll need a 6.
So you're going for this guy here?
Yeah. No. So that'll be that. And he can't launch an assault from where he is. So, well, that's not too bad. I mean, you've still, if he gets back in, you've still got 3 tanks.
Okay, yeah.
And then on this other side, you got off scot-free. You can turn your guns on them, hit them on 2s, and probably do a bit of damage. The only thing that seems to be going good for me is my wee...
yeah, these guys are staying in the middle, aren't they?
Yeah, the white coloured armour cars are staying put. Oh, artillery. Now, I can't use the artillery on that same spot because of danger close. So what I think I'm going to do is, I'm going to try and range them in on your armour cars if I can see them. That'll still be able to get all of them if I range in. Yeah. If I range in. 5, 5, 4. Normally that'd be quite good for ranging in, but not for these guys. So they don't range in. So that's really going to be it for me. So could have gone a lot worse for the Germans that turn. Turn 6.
So,
turn 6.
German turn 6, starting step. So let's try and see if we can get this guy back into his tank. This is the important one. 5, that'll do it. So that's alright. So he's back in again. I've got, does he still take a last stand?
Just do the last stand now, yeah.
So he's away.
He's gone.
He's away.
But you're over there now anyway. Last stand for this armour car.
This is the one that
he stays.
Stays.
Oh, sorry, that was his remount. Sorry, then his last stand.
He runs away.
So he becomes a wreck.
He becomes a
Oh no, he's remounted. I'm talking rubbish. He runs away. And then these other guys over here don't have any concerns. So on to movement. German turn 6 movement. And for Brian it's all about trying to secure the objective that I'm attacking and to deal with my T-34 counter-attack. So what he's going to eventually do is move 2 Panzer 3s and leave the Panzer 4 put. The Panzer 4 is going to deal with the M3 light tank, the Stuart tank, and the Panzer 3s will shoot up the Lease. That's the plan anyway, and then he's looking to do a shooting scoot with the Panzer 4 to get his armour facing the right way. His armour cars in the middle, you've seen them moving up there to keep shooting up my armour cars, and then using a blitz for 3 of the tanks and movement for 1, he's got a really good hull down position to shoot my T-34s now.
So on to German turn 6 shooting. A bit of a risky gamble across here. I've moved 2 tanks to try and take pot shots here. Kept him still. There we go, at your tank here. So they've moved 1 shot each, looking at your
Like for 2s.
And
Still managed to miss one.
Still got my 1s.
Right, which one are you shooting?
Don't know if it makes any difference, but
There's one at the end here you could get in the side from where he's positioned.
This one here.
But he's far enough away I can try mistake and target it.
Oh,
So,
try it, yeah.
so I've mistaken targeted it, and I'm going to put it on to the guy beside him, so it's still in the front.
That's fine. Right, so the all important one, 2 shots onto your guy here.
Looking for 2s.
So a 6
6
and a
and
4.
Right, so it's 2 5-powers because I can't stop that.
A 1 and a 5.
Right, so he's dead.
Right, so he's popped. And then I'm hoping...
I do your shooting scoot and I last one here.
Because if this doesn't work, then I'm in the open.
You're fine. So you can get a 4-inch move. You can probably get him behind that wreck.
Yeah. Which you can do. And he's still within 4 of that and of his team as well.
Okay, so next, the armoured cars, you've come round this way.
Yeah.
1 shooting that way, so
Yeah.
it'll be 2 shots. Now I'm bailed out, didn't move or anything, so I'm going to be going to ground, so you're going to need a massive... No, that's actually, there's 3 to start, so 3 5s.
5. So 2 on 5s in the guy here.
Nope.
Nope.
And then he did fire, so you'll be 2 on 4s.
Somebody rolling these dice for me here.
They just won't die,
This
these
guy
guys.
can't see anything. Well, I'll try the artillery while I'm here.
Alright, hold on a second. Just position this so we can see where it's shooting. So artillery is going to try and range in again. Over.
Because I can see, I'm
Yep.
just going to try and get down in the middle here and try and kill some of this.
Right, so you're going to need to take that into account.
Yeah.
So 4's to range in.
So it's
That'll
6.
do it. Right, so you want to be getting as much
The
as
only thing
possible.
that's worked in this game is the artillery.
So, do you want to get him as well?
Yeah, may as well try and get him off the objective.
Right, so I'll be...
And seeing if I go further back, I get more of your guys, don't I?
Yeah, if you want, you can... you can be over here,
Yeah.
but then you're not going to be anywhere near that, so... You either want to get him... Tell me where you want it to start and we can figure it out.
Yeah.
Him or in the house? You really want to be targeting the house?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, so you're not bothered about him.
No bother with him.
Right, so... Let's see, so to get the house...
And I want to try and get the guns as well, so if I come up a
You
bit
can't.
too far out.
Yeah. Maybe you can't actually see the guns anyway. So that's going to get this lot here. Right. We'll start at the back. You'll need a 3.
3s, so the guy at the back.
Nope. Next guy.
Yep.
Next guy.
Yep.
Next guy.
Yep.
Next guy.
Yep.
And then 2 in the house. Yep. So I'll do the saves for the guys in the house. 1 chance to kill.
Yep.
So 1 is away. Right, the guy behind the house. Whoops. He's okay. The next guy in the open. He's okay. And the guy on the road.
So something needs 4 up saves, you're getting all the 4 up
These
saves.
4 up saves are rubbish. Right.
So,
Again.
1, 2, 4, 6, 7.
Right, now, so your tank's firing now. You've got...
7 shots, so I blitzed 3 of them and had to move 1.
So it'll be 5 50 mils and 2
Oh, right, because these
75s.
Yeah, the white is. So the white's the big gun.
Right.
Hitting you on
twos.
Oops.
The big guns missed.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at that, guys. 1 and a 2.
Right, so
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
oh, no, that's a hit still, that's a hit.
What is this?
It's only 1 miss. Right, okay, so that's fine. Can't really complain with that. Right, so how are you applying these? On you go.
So I've got 1, 2, I've got 6 hits, so one's going to double up.
Yep.
Is there anything special in there? No,
no.
They're all the same. But I probably want to get, I'm going to double up on this guy here.
So you're doubling up with 50s on him, and then you're going to stick your 75
on him.
Right,
and then
okay, so this guy doubling up 6s, 6 against 9, sorry. 2 6s. Right, and then 6 against 11. Nearly. Right, chance to kill him. No, he's bailed. Right, and then 3 other ones. So the near one is okay. Commander, that'll be fine. Last guy, chance to bail him. He's bailed.
So although you're easily hit, you're still survivable.
It's because your Panzer 3s aren't so good. I've got a chance to save against them, but you still have to roll the saves, you know. It's still easy to roll a 1 or a 2, as you know yourself. So
what did a bail that I got?
That was a bail,
two bail
and a bail. Right, so that's it then. So that's your artillery done, your army carder. I think that's everything.
That's it.
So it's really looking at the moment as though it's coming down to what's going to happen over here. Soviet turn 6 motivations. So I think it's all over here actually, folks. Oh, right, does he get back in? He doesn't. Last stand, oh, they finally ran away.
Tatty bye.
That's a shame because they were doing quite well. Remount. Yes. Remount. No. Do the guns? No. They don't. And then do these guys unpin? They don't. Okay, so that's not too good. It would be good if they could have rallied. I think that's it for motivation, so over to movement. Soviet turn 6, and somehow I've still got masses of tanks on the table, masses of anti-tank fire, so I'm not going to sit still and try and get my full rate of fire. I'm going to look to get around the flanks as much as I can. I'll reduce the number of shots that I've got, but in the main I'll be hitting, certainly with the Lease, hitting on 4s for my main guns, and for the T-34 so you can get around the flanks of the platoon on the hill, I'll be hitting them on 5s. And if I get them on the side, I've got a very good chance of killing them. On the front, he's got a good chance of saving. Soviet turn 6 shooting, so we're going to start over here. Let me see this. They've all got side shots, but on different things. So there's one right at the end. It's only got one side shot on Panzer IV. So it's going to need a 4. 1 dice on a 4 for the main gun. And 1 dice and a 5 for the wee turret. No, see, it's still alive and kicking. So the other ones, they're going to target the Panzer IIIs, but it could go in a number of ways depending on how many hits there are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for 4s.
3 hits.
That'll do it. And then we've got the wee pea shooters. One on a pea shooter. So what I'm going to be doing is it's going to be 1 main gun each and an extra pea shooter onto the Panzer III nearest to me. 37mm. Right. So do your Panzer IV first. 6 against 9.
It's a 2. Nope.
Oh, for goodness sake, that was the one you're supposed to save. So he's gone. Right, and then side armour. First one, nope, needs a 6 to match. Next one needs, nope. So 5 power on the near one. He's bailed, and the far one, he's dead. And then you've got to do a save on this guy for the wee 37mm. Oh, another one. Bailed again, so that'll be a remount.
So is that double bailer?
Yeah. and he passes the remount. Right, so that means Panzer 3 they're dead, Panzer 4 dead, another one bailed. So my HQ is going to do main gun against that bailed out Panzer 3.
Yep.
That's cocked. I roll a 6. So 6 against 3. Oh,
Right, so
you've not made a save.
end of the game.
Fire, yeah.
5 pop.
And that will do it because you're not going to be able to
Get anything across quick enough to support that.
Ah, well, right. We won't bother with this over here, guys. That was the other move that you can see to get shots round the flank, but it's getting late. We're going to go over to a recap. So there you go, folks. That's our first Eastern Front game. We're probably going to have to try a few Eastern Front games to try and get the measure of this, but at the same time, I'm still quite enjoying the late war, so it'll probably be a mixture of both that we do. Brian, you're more interested in desert, so
I think so. I think the desert, because I think the Germans here are quite expensive for what you get. I was well outnumbered. Yeah, I could hit you, but you were surviving. You were hitting your tank in two, but you're still making the saves. Terrible dice rolls
most
as well.
of the tanks are anti-tank 9 against front armour 6, and you get so many Soviets. There, you only killed one T-34 and 3 light tanks, and that's quite outrageous considering how many targets that you had.
I think I lost the game at the very beginning by, I think I'm going to put it down to a long day at work. It's far too still hot in Scotland.
Yeah, believe it or
And for
not.
some strange reason, I just charged forward with my HQ thinking I'm going to sit in the middle there and stop you coming round me. And you came round me and killed me. Because seeing what the guys could actually do when they took that whole unit out, the little
Yeah,
little
when you
tanks,
actually hit me.
when you actually hit them, great. That was just a rush of blood to the head. That was a nightmare. There's not a lot of Germans for your points, is there?
No, it's tricky, it really is. There's the Cross of Iron Germans, which is just like using the desert, so you do get more. So they're potentially a little bit more vulnerable, and they don't hit quite so hard, but there you go, you get less protection but less firepower, so it's tricky. We'll probably have to have a few games and see what the other guys can come up with too. In this game, I mean, I think you were just outnumbered, and at critical times your luck didn't go with you, and luck went with me. That last turn you were failing lots of saving throws, even on the front, needing a 3, you rolled a 2.
Yeah, I got more 1s and 2s tonight than I ever had in my game in life, I
The
think.
turn before I made all of my anti-tank 9 against fire, armour 6. I made all my saves, so that kind of went in my favour there. But it's a tricky one.
Yeah, I think because because of the points, we're normally play 100 points, we're going to have to go 120 just to get models on the table. Shows you that I think the points for the Germans are, in this particular scenario, are well off. It's just non-existent, isn't it? I mean,
but folks, let us know what your thoughts are. I know there are point revision sheets out there. We didn't use them here, we just upped the points. Let us know what you think. There's guys I know locally who have got those revision sheets, so don't worry about sending them on to us. I don't know if it's just desert or if it covers this as well. But anyway, there you go, folks. That was a remarkably straightforward game for the Soviets. I thought, guys getting hit in a 2+. My Lease, though, my wonderful Lease, one of my favourite tanks of the war, because no one, I mean, I don't know who designed, the guy who wrote Wacky Races, the cartoon, I think that's who'd actually designed the Lee, because it's just everything about it's wrong. Don't know if you've seen the tank in Wacky Races, that's what it reminds me of. But they all survived, so that's one good thing. But I think the Soviets outmatched the Germans in numbers, and especially when things got mobile. Maybe a different scenario if the Germans are sitting back with an anti-tank gun line in defence, but then again that's a very particular kind of game that you don't necessarily want to be playing.
I think if anyone knows where to get some decent loaded dice that doesn't have 1s and 2s in them, send me the details as well, because that's all I rolled all night.
Anyway, there you go, folks. Let us know your own thoughts, and if you've played any of these Ghost Panzer type lists as well, and how you got on with them. And thanks again, Brian, for the game. We'll maybe get you back to the desert next time.
Yeah, even hotter.
At least it'll be in Scotland. The heating will not be on in the winter, folks. But anyway, thanks for watching again. As always, folks, thanks to the subscribers as always. And if you'd like to subscribe, please do so to help us build the channel and bring these kind of videos to more people who enjoy the game of Flames of War. And if you hit the bell button, we'll definitely see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers,